Sometimes the loudest message you can send is silence. Life has a way of testing your patience and resilience, but you don't always need to prove your worth through words or actions. There are moments when stepping back and staying silent can say more than any argument or confrontation ever could. When you step back, you give people space to realize what you brought to the table. You allow the truth to speak for itself. Here are 10 reasons why silence can be your strongest weapon. Patience is a quiet power. It's the ability to stand still in a world that's always rushing, always demanding quick answers and immediate action. When everyone else feels the need to shout, to react, to jump to conclusions, patience stands firm, watching and waiting. You see, patience doesn't mean you're sitting idle or that you're weak. No, it's the opposite. Patience is strength under control. It's understanding that some things need time to unfold, that sometimes the best move is no move at all. Think about it. When you're patient, you're not letting your emotions dictate your actions. You're not giving anyone else the power to push you into a response or a reaction. Instead, you're in control. Patience allows you to step back and observe, to understand the situation fully before deciding how to proceed. It keeps you calm when others lose their cool. And in that calm, you find clarity. You start to see things others miss, the true motives, the hidden agendas, the lessons that only reveal themselves in time. Patience allows you to let things flow naturally without forcing them. Sometimes when you wait, people and situations reveal who they truly are. When you don't rush to fix things or prove yourself, you allow others to show their intentions. They expose their true colors, and you don't have to do anything to make it happen. Your patience does the work for you. In that waiting, you're sending a message you are in control of your reactions, not them. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, to say or do things you might regret. But with patience, you learn to trust the timing of life. You learn that every moment doesn't require your response, that sometimes silence is the most powerful thing you can offer. When you're patient, you let the storm pass instead of fighting against it. You allow yourself to grow, to gather strength, and to gain wisdom. And when you finally do act, it's not out of desperation or frustration, but out of purpose and understanding. Patience then becomes your armor. It shields you from impulsive decisions, from unnecessary battles, from letting others control how you feel and act. In a world that constantly tests you, patience is your strength. There's something powerful about stepping away and letting people feel what life is like without you. See, people get used to your presence. They start to expect you'll always be there, supporting, helping, listening. They take for granted the small things you bring to their lives, the advice, the encouragement, the loyalty. But when you step back, when you remove yourself from their daily routine, a silence sets in, an empty space that only you could fill. Suddenly, the things they took for granted become painfully clear in their absence. When you pull back, it's not about playing games or manipulating anyone. It's about honoring your own worth. It's about showing that your presence was a privilege, not a given. You're giving them a chance to experience life without the energy, warmth, or support you brought. And it's often in that silence that people realize what they've lost. You see, when you're always available, always ready to step in and help, people can become blind to how much you actually bring to their lives. But when you take a step back, that blindness fades away, and what's left is a stark recognition of just how valuable you really are. Letting them feel your absence is a way of teaching respect without saying a single word. You're not arguing, pleading, or demanding anything. You're simply showing, by stepping away, that your energy isn't free to be taken for granted. In that space, they begin to miss the qualities that only you brought: the patience, the encouragement, the strength. They realize that what you gave was rare and not something just anyone can offer. This absence can be a powerful wake-up call, a reminder that real connections require respect and reciprocity, not just convenience. But this isn't just for them, it's for you too. Stepping back lets you reclaim your own energy, refocus on what matters to you, and rebuild the parts of yourself that might have been stretched thin by always being there for others. You start to recognize that you too have limits, that your time and presence are valuable resources not to be spent on those who don't appreciate them. By stepping back, you remind yourself that you don't need to be in anyone's life out of obligation. You're there because you choose to be, and when that choice is no longer respected, you have every right to walk away. So let them feel the silence. Let them sit with the absence. Give them the time and space to understand what your presence truly meant. And remember, the right people will recognize that value without needing the reminder. Those are the ones who deserve to have you by their side. Silence has a weight all its own. It doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to prove anything, yet it says everything. Sometimes the most profound messages are conveyed without a single word spoken. When you choose silence, you're making a powerful statement, one that tells people more about you than any argument or response ever could. Silence is the choice to let truth stand on its own without the need for defense or justification. It's the refusal to be drawn into pettiness, to rise above and say, I know who I am, and I don't need to explain it to you. There's strength in knowing when not to speak. In a world where everyone is eager to voice their opinions, to react at every turn, silence shows restraint, confidence, and discipline. It's not that you don't have words to say, it's that you know not every situation is worth them. You understand that sometimes letting things be, letting people see and feel the effects of their own actions is more powerful than any lecture or retort. Silence isn't about avoidance or weakness, it's about control. By staying silent, you choose not to let others pull you into their chaos. You resist the urge to be reactive, to engage in the noise that distracts from the truth. Instead, you hold your ground, grounded and unshaken, because you know your worth isn't tied to winning arguments or proving points. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting people's words and actions right back at them, letting them see what they may have ignored or denied. They're left to confront their choices, their words, without your interference. And sometimes silence reveals more than any spoken truth. It forces people to look deeper, to see the impact of their actions or attitudes without you spelling it out for them. Silence is a way of communicating that you've moved beyond needing their validation, their recognition. It's a way of saying, I see what's happening here, and I choose to disengage. That choice, that conscious decision to stay silent, holds a dignity that demands respect. But silence isn't just for others, it's for you too. When you choose silence, you protect your peace, preserving your energy for what truly matters. You create a space where you can hear your own thoughts, connect with your own values, and remain focused on your path. Silence becomes a sanctuary, a refuge where you can reflect, recharge, and reinforce your sense of self. It's a place of power because when you're silent, you're no longer reacting to the world around you, you're controlling your own narrative. In the end, silence becomes your language. It's a way of standing tall without ever needing to raise your voice. Silence says, I know my worth, I know my truth, and I don't need your permission or approval. It's a powerful reminder to others and to yourself that sometimes the loudest response you can give is no response at all. Focusing on your peace isn't selfish, it's essential. In a world that's constantly pulling you in 1,000 directions, your peace becomes your anchor. It's that steady place inside you, untouched by the noise, untouched by the drama. When you focus on your peace, you decide that your well-being matters more than anyone else's demands or expectations. You stop giving in to the need to please everyone, to fit into roles that don't honor who you truly are. Instead, you choose to honor yourself. You set boundaries not because you don't care, but because you know that if you're not grounded in peace, you can't truly be there for anyone else. Choosing peace means letting go of the things that drain you, the arguments, the negativity, the people who leave you feeling less than whole. It means walking away from what no longer serves you without feeling guilty about it. You realize that not every battle deserves your attention, and not every invitation to conflict is worth accepting. Protecting your peace requires the courage to let go, to say no when you need to, and to recognize that it's okay to distance yourself from anything or anyone that disrupts your sense of calm. But focusing on peace doesn't mean avoiding life's challenges. It means approaching them from a place of clarity and strength. When you have peace within, you're able to see situations for what they truly are. You're not reactive, you're deliberate. You make decisions not out of fear or frustration, but out of wisdom and purpose. In that state, life becomes clearer, and your choices reflect your true self. Peace lets you move with intention, not just with the pressures of the moment. It becomes your compass, guiding you in a world that's always trying to knock you off balance. Focusing on your peace also means learning to be content within yourself, to find happiness that isn't dependent on other people or external validation. It's about building a relationship with yourself that is whole, that is enough, so that you don't need anyone else's approval to feel complete. When you're rooted in your own peace, you're no longer searching outside yourself for fulfillment or meaning. You're able to love, to give, and to connect with others from a place of strength, not need. When you focus on your peace, you're telling the world and yourself that your inner world is sacred, that it's worth protecting at all costs. And yes, people may misunderstand you. They might call you distant or selfish. But peace teaches you not to take that to heart. You know that the path you're on isn't about pleasing others. It's about living authentically without compromising your well-being. You start to see that those who truly care about you will understand your need for peace and respect it, while those who don't will drift away. And that's okay. At the end of the day, focusing on your peace means standing in your own truth, regardless of the chaos around you. It's about reclaiming control over what you allow into your life and recognizing that your peace is priceless. It's a statement that says, I choose to be whole, I choose to be strong, and I choose to be at peace. And when you live with that kind of intention, that kind of commitment to your own well-being, there's a power in you that nothing and no one can take away. Watching regret set in is a silent, powerful experience. You're not out there hoping for anyone to feel bad or suffering. You've simply chosen to step back, to walk away and let things fall into place as they will. When you do that, a certain truth becomes undeniable for those who took you for granted, those who overlooked what you brought to their lives. Regret is that feeling that creeps in quietly, showing up when they least expect it, like a shadow that follows them, reminding them of what they had and what they lost. Regret doesn't come in all at once. It's slow. A kind of haunting realization that surfaces when they start noticing what's missing. They go to dial your number, but they remember you're not picking up anymore. They look for that comfort, that encouragement you always gave, only to find emptiness in its place. Regret has a way of peeling back the layers, showing people exactly where they went wrong, and this time they can't avoid it. They sit with it, replaying moments, thinking of things they could have said, should have done differently. By choosing to walk away and let them feel that absence, you're allowing them to truly understand your worth without interference. You're not explaining, not arguing, not defending yourself anymore. You're giving them the space to confront their own choices. And as they go through their days, as the initial relief or arrogance fades, regret starts to sink in. They start remembering the loyalty you showed, the ways you went out of your way to help, the laughter and the warmth only you could bring. And it hits them, they underestimated what you brought into their lives. But regret is also a teacher. It teaches them the value of presence, of loyalty, of people who genuinely care. They start realizing that good people are hard to come by, and that respect, kindness, and appreciation aren't things to be taken lightly. Regret has a unique way of stripping away illusions, making people see things clearly, often for the first time. And it doesn't matter how much time has passed, regret doesn't operate on a timeline. Sometimes it's months or years later when they finally understand the impact of their actions or their indifference. In choosing to step back, you're not wishing ill upon anyone. Instead, you're honoring yourself by letting people experience the consequences of their choices. They learn what it means to lose something valuable, to understand that not everyone will stick around when they're being overlooked or undervalued. Regret, in a way, is the universe's reminder that relationships and connections deserve respect and care. And it's not on you to carry that burden anymore. It's theirs to face and to learn from. Watching regret set in teaches you patience too. It reminds you that you don't need to chase validation or force anyone to appreciate you. You just have to stand firm in your worth and let life take its course. Those who truly value you will see your worth without needing a lesson. Those who don't, they'll feel the weight of their choices, often in the quiet moments when they're alone with their thoughts. And that's not your burden, it's theirs. You've moved on, grown stronger, and found peace in knowing that you did everything you could. Protecting your energy is about recognizing that not everyone deserves access to the deepest parts of you. Your energy, your time, your spirit, your attention is precious, and when you give it freely to everyone, you risk depleting yourself. Not everyone you encounter respects or values that energy, and not everyone comes into your life with the best intentions. There are people who will drain you, knowingly or unknowingly, leaving you feeling empty while they walk away filled up. Protecting your energy means setting boundaries, knowing when to say no, and recognizing that it's okay to distance yourself from people and situations that pull you down. When you protect your energy, you're not being selfish, you're being wise. You're aware that you can't be at your best if you're constantly surrounded by negativity or people who take without giving. You start to see that every time you allow someone to cross your boundaries, to disrespect your peace, or to bring unnecessary drama into your life, it's costing you something. Protecting your energy is an act of self-respect. It's choosing to prioritize your well-being over the need to please others, understanding that your peace of mind is more valuable than anyone's opinion. It's also about choosing carefully where you place your focus. There's a lot in this world vying for your attention, a lot of noise that can distract you from your purpose. When you're clear about what truly matters to you, protecting your energy becomes easier. You start to filter out what doesn't align with your values and your goals. You're not as quick to get involved in drama, in gossip, or in things that don't uplift you. You become more intentional about your choices, about who you spend time with, and where you place your trust. Sometimes protecting your energy means walking away from relationships that no longer serve you. It's not easy to let go of people, especially if you have history, but history alone isn't a reason to stay. You recognize that true connection should nourish you, not drain you. If you're constantly giving and getting little in return, if your spirit feels heavy every time you leave their presence, that's a sign. Protecting your energy means trusting those signs and being brave enough to distance yourself when needed. It's understanding that you don't owe anyone your time or your energy, especially when it comes at the expense of your own well-being. And protecting your energy is as much about what you allow in as it is about what you keep out. This means cultivating habits that restore you, seeking out people who inspire you, and doing things that make you feel alive. It's about filling yourself up with positivity, with joy, with peace. When you invest in things that elevate your energy, that help you grow and feel whole, you're building up a reserve. You're less affected by the little things, less shaken by other people's negativity, because you're grounded in your own fullness. In a world that often feels chaotic, protecting your energy is about finding and nurturing your own sanctuary, is making your peace non-negotiable. People might misunderstand you or think you're being distant, but that's all right. You're no longer here to explain yourself to everyone. You're here to live a life that feels right to you. Protecting your energy gives you the freedom to be selective, to say no, to walk away, and to keep your peace intact. Ultimately, protecting your energy is about choosing yourself. It's deciding that you will not sacrifice your well-being for anyone or anything that doesn't align with your purpose, that doesn't bring value to your life. It's a commitment to live intentionally, to guard what fuels you, and to stand firm in your worth. Because when you protect your energy, you protect your potential, your happiness, and the freedom to be the truest version of yourself. And that, above all else, is priceless. Showing resilience is about letting the world see that no matter what comes your way, you stand tall, you rise up, and you keep going. It's a silent strength, the kind that speaks louder than words or declarations. Resilience is what happens when you've been knocked down, pushed to the edge, but you refuse to stay down. It's in the way you carry yourself after the storm, in the way you get back up without making excuses or seeking sympathy. Showing resilience isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about facing life's hardships with courage and coming out on the other side stronger and wiser. Resilience isn't something you find when things are easy. It's forged in the struggle, shaped by the challenges you face. When you choose to rise above, you're proving that no obstacle has the power to define you, no setback can control you. Each time you push through, you're reminding yourself and everyone watching that there's nothing you can't handle. Life will test you, no doubt about it, but resilience is your response, the quiet power that says, I will not be broken. When people see you standing strong after hardships, they witness a force they may not fully understand. They see that you're not here to be defeated, not here to play the victim. They start to see that there's something in you that won't give up, no matter the odds. Resilience makes them respect you, even if they don't say it out loud, because deep down, people know how rare that strength is. In a world that gives up at the first sign of struggle, resilience is almost rebellious. It's refusing to surrender when surrender would be the easiest thing to do. But showing resilience doesn't mean you don't feel the pain or that you don't get tired. It doesn't mean you're immune to heartbreak, disappointment, or setbacks. It means you acknowledge those feelings, face them, and keep moving forward anyway. Resilience is about learning to carry the weight without letting it crush you. It's about giving yourself permission to stumble, to take a moment if you need it, but never to give up entirely. You don't hide the battle scars, you wear them proudly as proof that you've been through something and survived. When you show resilience, you're also inspiring others. They see you get back up and it lights something in them. It shows them that they too can rise above whatever they're facing. Your resilience becomes a beacon, a reminder that strength isn't about avoiding struggles, it's about facing them head on. People need to see that kind of courage because it gives them hope. It shows them that even in their darkest moments, there's a way forward. Resilience isn't loud, and it's not flashy. It's in the quiet confidence you carry, the calm determination that says you're in control of your life no matter what. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your actions speak for themselves. Each step forward, each day you keep going, is a testament to your strength. And when you're resilient, setbacks become stepping stones, failures become lessons, and pain becomes a teacher. To show resilience is to show the world that you are rooted, unshakable, that you don't crumble under pressure. It's a reminder to everyone around you that there's power in persistence, that real strength doesn't come from never falling, but from always getting back up. Resilience tells the story of who you are and what you're capable of without ever saying a word. And that kind of strength, it's undeniable. It commands respect, it inspires courage, and it proves, most importantly, that you are unstoppable. Letting your actions speak is about showing who you are without needing to declare it. Words can be empty, they can be manipulated, twisted, and misunderstood, but actions are undeniable. They reveal your character, your discipline, and your integrity in a way that words never can. When you let your actions do the talking, you're saying, this is who I am. Watch me, and you'll see it's a quiet, unwavering confidence that doesn't need validation from anyone. You're secure in your purpose, focused on your path, and too committed to be distracted by the need to explain yourself. There's a power in letting your actions carry the weight. People may doubt you, question your motives, or even try to discourage you, but your actions can prove them wrong without you having to say a word. When you work hard, stay consistent, and remain dedicated to your vision, your results become the proof. They can argue with your words, but they can't argue with what you accomplish. Your actions become the loudest voice in the room, showing everyone what's possible when determination meets discipline. Letting your actions speak requires patience because results don't come overnight. You have to be willing to work in silence, to put in the effort when no one is watching, knowing that eventually the results will speak for themselves. It's about understanding that true strength isn't about being seen, but about showing up day after day, giving your all, even when the journey is long and lonely. You're playing the long game, investing in something that will stand the test of time, while others get caught up in momentary praise or fleeting applause. When you let your actions speak, you're showing people what consistency and commitment look like. They see the sacrifices you make, the late nights, the early mornings, the resilience you bring to every challenge. You're not looking for shortcuts or quick wins because you know that real success is built on hard work and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Your actions reveal your character, proving that you're not here to impress anyone, but to stay true to yourself and your goals. People often underestimate the power of quiet diligence. They don't see you coming because you're not making noise, you're making moves. And that's the beauty of it. While others are busy talking, you're out there doing the work. You're not concerned with proving your worth to anyone but yourself. You let the results do that, showing everyone who doubted, overlooked, or underestimated you that you were always serious about your vision. Letting your actions speak also means you don't get caught up in the need for recognition. You understand that true fulfillment doesn't come from praise. It comes from knowing you did what you set out to do. When you're driven by purpose instead of applause, you can stay focused and grounded. You're not swayed by the opinions of others because you're not doing this for them. You're doing it for something deeper, something that doesn't need validation to feel complete. And in a world full of noise, letting your actions speak is a breath of fresh air. People notice even if they don't say it. They see the dedication, the effort, the results that come from a quiet, disciplined life. Your actions inspire without trying to impress. They remind people that sometimes the most powerful statements are made without a single word. You show them that true strength, real resilience, and genuine success aren't found in boasting. They're found in the work, in the journey, and in the dedication to something greater than yourself. So let your actions do the talking. Stand firm, work hard, and keep moving forward. In the end, you won't need to explain who you are, what you've achieved, or where you're headed. Your actions will tell your story, and they'll tell it in a way that words never could. And that's a language that everyone understands. It's undeniable, it's inspiring, and it's proof that you're here to make a difference, not just to make a noise. Standing in self-respect is about knowing your worth and refusing to compromise it for anyone. It's about carrying yourself with a quiet dignity that doesn't bend to please, doesn't shrink to fit, and doesn't apologize for existing exactly as you are. Self-respect means you understand the value you bring and you won't settle for less than you deserve, not in relationships, not in opportunities, not in how others treat you. When you stand in self-respect, you're setting a standard for how the world should engage with you, showing them through your actions that you're not here to be taken lightly. Self-respect begins within. It's a commitment to honoring who you are and standing up for what you believe, even if it means standing alone. It's choosing yourself over and over, especially when others don't. This doesn't mean you're closed off or unwilling to give. It means you're giving from a place of fullness, not desperation. You don't need validation because you're secure in who you are. You know that respect isn't something you chase, it's something you embody. You show it in how you talk to yourself, in the boundaries you set, and in the way you respond when others try to challenge or test you. Standing in self-respect also means you're willing to walk away from situations and people that don't align with your worth. You're not afraid to let go of what doesn't serve you because you're not attached to anything that threatens your peace or undermines your value. This isn't arrogance, it's clarity. It's understanding that your energy, your time, your presence, they are precious. When you respect yourself, you realize that not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life, and that's okay. You're choosing quality over quantity, depth over surface level connections. But self-respect isn't about walls, it's about boundaries. It's about knowing where you end and others begin, and not allowing anyone to cross that line. People will try to test your boundaries, sometimes even unintentionally, but when you stand in self-respect, you stand firm. You don't let others dictate your worth, and you don't hand over your self-respect just because someone asks for it. When people see that you're unwavering, that you respect yourself enough to say no when needed, they start to respect you too, even if they don't admit it. There's strength in self-respect that can't be faked. It's not loud or boastful, it's steady and calm. When you respect yourself, you're not seeking approval from anyone because you know that true respect begins and ends with you. You're not swayed by every opinion, every criticism, or every rejection because you're grounded in a deep understanding of who you are. You know that rejection doesn't define you, that criticism doesn't diminish you, and that others' opinions are not the measure of your value. When you stand in self-respect, you give others permission to do the same. They see your strength, your standards, and your willingness to honor yourself, and it inspires them to rise to that level. Self-respect sets a tone. It's an unspoken expectation that says, I deserve respect because I respect myself, and those who cannot meet that standard, they will fall away. Not everyone will understand or appreciate your self-respect, but that's okay because those who matter will. Those who see your worth will match your energy. and those who don't will drift to where they belong. Self-respect is also about holding yourself accountable. It's knowing that if you make a mistake, if you fall short, you're willing to own it and grow from it. Respecting yourself doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're committed to becoming the best version of yourself. You're willing to put in the work, to make the changes, to face the hard truths about yourself, because that's part of honoring who you are. Self-respect is rooted in a journey of self-discovery, learning what you need, what you value, and what you deserve. Standing in self-respect means you're not here to please everyone, and you're okay with that. You know that you're not for everyone, and everyone is not for you. You'd rather have a few genuine connections than 100 shallow ones. You're here to live authentically, true to yourself, without apology. And in a world that often pressures us to be something we're not, self-respect is a radical act. It's choosing to be yourself in all your fullness without shrinking or compromising. So stand in self-respect, walk with purpose, speak with intention, and live with a sense of honor for the person you are. Let people see that you're here to be respected, not overlooked, to be valued, not tolerated. When you stand in self-respect, you become a force to be reckoned with, someone who demands, through their presence alone, to be treated with dignity. And that's a strength that doesn't just elevate you, it elevates everyone around you. There's a certain kind of peace that comes with watching them come back. The ones who left, who turned their back on you when the going got tough, or the ones who couldn't see your worth when it was right in front of them. At one point, their absence may have stung. You might have felt rejected, overlooked, or betrayed. But when they return, something powerful happens. It's not about boasting. It's not about rubbing anything in their face. It's about realizing the strength you've built in their absence. It's about seeing your journey, your growth, and your evolution for what they truly are, evidence that you didn't need anyone's validation to be great. The ones who left didn't understand your worth then. They were too caught up in their own issues, their own insecurities, their own fears. But when they come back, after time has passed, after they've seen you rise, after they've witnessed the life you're building without them, they realize what they missed out on. And it's in that moment that you understand everything you went through, every hardship, every loss, every setback, it was all for this moment. Not to get them back, but to prove to yourself that you're capable of thriving on your own. You didn't need anyone to complete you. You didn't need anyone to define your worth. Your strength wasn't about keeping people around. It was about standing tall when everyone else walked away. And when they come back, you stand firm. You're not desperate to take them back, not desperate to fix things, not desperate for their approval. You're different now. They can see that. The person you were when they left doesn't exist anymore. That version of you is gone, transformed by time, by experience, by the lessons learned. And they can't help but notice that. They'll try to slip back into your life as if nothing happened, as if things can just pick up right where they left off. But you know better now. You know that nothing is the same. You know that you're not the same person, and neither are they. Time has a way of changing things. It has a way of opening eyes. And when they come back, they'll realize the truth that you've known all along, that you are the constant, the solid ground they never valued until it was gone. Watching them come back doesn't make you feel any less strong. It doesn't make you feel like you need them now. If anything, it strengthens your resolve. Because now you see it clearly, you're the one who's moved forward. You're the one who's risen above. You're the one who has built something of your own. Something that doesn't require their presence to feel complete. Your life is no longer dependent on their validation, their love, or their approval. You've grown beyond the need for anyone to tell you your worth because you know it. You can see it in every success, in every step you take, in every moment you continue to thrive without them. Their return is not a reason to pause or look back. It's simply a reminder of how far you've come. And here's the thing, they'll come back because they've seen your rise. They've seen you walk through fire and come out stronger. They've seen you move on, build, grow, and flourish. They didn't think you had it in you. They thought you would crumble without them. But you didn't. And when they return, They want to see if they can be a part of the success they didn't believe in. They want to see if you'll take them back, if you'll let them in again, if you'll let them benefit from the very growth they couldn't recognize before. And when they come back, you have a choice to make. It's not about proving anything to them. It's about protecting what you've worked for, protecting your peace, and protecting your progress. You've already shown them who you are, what you're capable of, and now you get to decide if they're worthy of being part of your journey. Watching them come back isn't about getting revenge, about making them feel bad for leaving, or about seeking validation. It's about acknowledging your own strength, your own resilience. It's about recognizing that your value was never tied to them in the first place. You've done the work, you've walked the path, and now you're standing taller than ever. You didn't need them to prove that you were enough, and you certainly don't need them now to prove that you're still on your way to greatness. So when they come back, you don't rush to embrace them. And you don't rush to reject them either. You stand firm in your peace, you observe, you assess. You make sure that any decision you make is grounded in the person you are now, the person who has built something solid, something strong, something worthy of respect. Because you've learned that sometimes people will only return when they see the value in you. And when they do, you'll know that the only value that matters is the one you've always placed on yourself. Watching them come back is not a sign of your weakness. It's a testament to your strength, your growth, and the fact that no one can break you unless you allow them to. Stepping back and staying silent isn't about playing games. It's about honoring yourself. When you choose not to engage, you're saying that you're worth more than petty conflicts. Your silence is a reminder that your value doesn't need validation. Let them come back if they choose, but know that in the end, you've gained something priceless: self-respect and peace.